Good morning, students. This video is meant for class 12th. The subject is economics and the topic is elasticity of demand. We will be discussing today, I'll be explaining the third method of calculating price elasticity of demand, that is point method or geometric method of measuring price elasticity. When we need to measure price elasticity of demand at a particular point on the demand curve, then we apply this method. So price elasticity of demand at any point on the demand curve can be measured by, here's the formula, EP. By now you are well aware that this symbol EP stands for price elasticity. So the formula goes like this: line segment below the point on demand curve, the point at which we want to find out the elasticity, upon line segment above the point on the demand curve. This is the formula, but things will become clear as we make the demand curve as we proceed. Now, elasticity of demand on a straight line demand curve. Suppose here's you can see the YOX axis, price on the Y axis, quantity on the X axis, and here's your demand curve. Okay, now I have marked some points over here. Here's point A. Okay, and on Y axis, the Y intercept is A, and X intercept is B, means the point at which the demand curve is cutting the x-axis is B. These are the two extreme points. Thereafter you can see point F, I'm talking about this point, then point D, I mentioned D is basically the midpoint. It's dividing the demand curve into two equal parts, followed by point C, yeah, and then B. So I'll start like this. Suppose we need to find out, let's say, price elasticity at point F. Okay, so EP at point F. Okay, the formula is, in short, lower line segment, yeah, upon upper line segment. The formula which I just on the previous page I showed you on the, so this can be written in short like this: lower line segment and upper line segment. Now what it means, now let's pay attention. Now at point F, the lower line segment is basically from the length from point F, I'm making curly bracket, till point B. Yeah, so because FB or BF is lying below the point F. Okay, and then what is the upper line segment? Upper line segment is, I hope you can see the curly brackets I'm making, from point A to F. So AF. Now the point is, we cannot accurately measure right now. I'm just telling you that which segment you can make out seems to be bigger. Obviously the lower line segment, that is in this case BF, that is the lower line segment, is greater than the upper line segment, that is AF. Yeah, okay, so simple logic of maths: if the numerator is greater, if the numerator is bigger than the denominator, the answer will be greater than 1. Example, suppose I put 8 as a numerator and let's say 2 as the denominator, the answer will be 4, and 4 is greater than 1. So this is just an example, not accurate measure. So what do we conclude? That in this case, EP, whatever EP we'll get at this point, will be greater than 1. So at point F, the EP will be greater than 1. Okay, and then let's now talk about point D, midpoint. point D. Wait, I need to erase because here only that will be better, you can see. Well, erase, take a screenshot of this. Okay. So I'm making a change here only. Now we need to find out, let's say, EP at point D. I'm mentioning D. Formula will be the same, lower line segment upon upper line segment, yeah. So now these things will change. I'm erasing it. Right again. Now I'll erase this also. It's not getting erased here. Yeah. Okay. Now from point D, children, the lower line segment is from D to B. That is, I can write it as BD upon upper line segment. Now upper line segment obviously is from A to D, that is AD. And because D is the midpoint, that means AD, D is the midpoint, means it's dividing the demand curve AB full line into two equal parts. That means AD is equal to AD. Lower line segment and upper line segment are equal. Okay, so in this case the answer obviously will be 1. Let me just mention also. In this case, what's happening is, pay attention. BD is equal to AD. Okay, what will happen in this case when the numerator and denominator are the same? The answer will be 1. So what do we conclude? That at the midpoint of a demand curve, in this case, in such a demand curve, the price elasticity of demand is 1. We call it unitary elastic demand. I hope this is clear. No, this was pertaining to the previous case, so I'm erasing it. Take a screenshot of this. So I'm writing over here, children, that let me mention that the conclusion that at midpoint the price elasticity will be equal to 1. Okay, now at point C, let's calculate price elasticity at point C. I'll try to do it here. So EP at point C will be, this is the second part. Okay, I don't have to write the formula again because you can see the formula here at the top. Children, what is the lower line segment? Let me erase the previous one and this one. Just wait. So the lower line segment is from C to B, yeah, or BC. So BC will keep as the numerator as per the formula. And what is the upper line segment? Upper line segment is from A, the length from A to C. So AC becomes the denominator, upper line segment. You can just make out which segment is bigger in this case. In this case, I'll write over here. The lower line segment is smaller and the upper line segment AC is bigger. Yeah, AC is bigger than BC. So in this case, the denominator AC is bigger than the numerator. So in this case, what will happen? What will happen in this case? Obviously, the answer will be lesser than 1. Okay. So in elastic demand, price elasticity will be lesser than 1. So I'm mentioning here EP will be lesser than 1. Okay. Now Let's talk about point B. I'll erase the previous one, curly brackets, so that we can focus here only. Wait. Now, what's happening at point B? At point B, if I need to calculate, take a screenshot of this. I'm erasing the entire thing. Wait. I'll solve it here. Okay, children. So, EP, the formula is in front of you. Wait. Okay. So, EP at point B here. So, what is lower line segment? Nothing. But because nothing is there below B, point B. So, lower line segment is 0. What is the upper line segment? From A to B, the entire. So, AB comes as the denominator. So, when we divide 0 by any number, the answer will be 0. So, what do we conclude? That at point B, that is the intercept X, it's intercepting X-axis at point B. The elasticity of demand, price elasticity of demand is 0. Okay. Now, let me solve here only, tell you here only what will be the price elasticity. We have still 1 point to go. At point A, this topmost point you can see. Wait, I'm talking about point A here, the y-intercept A. So at point A, here EP at point A will be the lower line segment. Ab lower line segment in this case will be AB, already marked. It becomes the lower line segment. Okay, so AB. And what is the upper line segment? Above A, nothing is there. You can't see the demand curve. So divide by 0. Now here the answer will be, anything you divide by 0, the answer will be infinity. Okay, this is the symbol for infinity. So in this case, let me just make changes here. So what do we conclude? Just pay attention. That EP at A point is infinity, infinite, infinity. Okay. Now I'm mentioning here at point A, EP, price elasticity is infinity. Now just let's have an observation and make conclusion. As we move downwards on this demand curve from point A, what's happening to the price elasticity, students? It's decreasing. At point A, it's infinity. Thereafter, as we come down to point F, it is greater than 1. As we go down and we reach the midpoint D, price elasticity is equal to 1. And as we go down further and reach point C, price elasticity is less than 1. And when we finally reach point B, on the x-axis, what do we see? That price elasticity has been reduced to 0. So that was the conclusion. With that, I conclude this class. I